Just before the start of our property styling network night, our third in the series. Tonight is a bit of a different night. We've got an agent panel. Two of the agents that we do quite a bit of work for are coming along basically to answer our questions and the questions of all the audience.
We're lucky enough that we've got two of our agents that have been really big supporters of us since we've started. Jessica Vine started her own agency 2 years ago. She's a mother of two, Vine Property agents on the north side of Brisbane. She's got experience from selling property from 200,000 all the way through to 2 million. I'm really lucky to have her here tonight. Also got Will Torres from Torres Property. He launched his own agency 15 months ago and has since sold over $117 million worth of property. Now with a staff of 15, he's doing amazing things. So it's really exciting to have these guys here tonight. So we also have some awesome giveaways tonight. We've been really lucky with the sponsors for our event who have just been so overwhelmingly supportive. We've got the ladies here from Swing Gifts, Jenny and Suzanne, who have given us two beautiful giveaway homeware gift packs to give out, as well as the lovely ladies again from Red Rhubarb Corporate Gifting have given us another hamper. And Rael have given us a little gift pack to everybody with percentage off discounted codes. So thanks to all of our sponsors.
Generous.
Yeah.
We've designed the entire series to help inspire, educate, and help us learn from each other. It's a time where we can give ourselves some dedicated time to help learn from each other and really take heart in knowing that we're not alone in tackling all of the difficulties that can come with owning a small business. As a business, we're trying to break down the barriers of secrecy that do exist in our industry. I think it's really well summed up in the in the event booklet that you have, the quote, that it is literally true that you can succeed best and quickest by helping others to succeed. So with that in mind, let's talk about tonight. I've been so excited about tonight's session. Every time I attend a consult alongside an agent, I learn so much. Whether or not it's how to refine my pitch, how to nurture a lead and really look after a client relationship, or even better, how to better sell property styling, I leave totally inspired. So I can explain to a client how to position furniture, why it's critical to position the furniture in a way for first impressions, for photography. I can give them numbers, I can give them our success stories. But when I sit there and I listen to the way a real estate agent talks to a client about us and about styling and the value that we can bring to a sales campaign, I'm blown away every time. I learn different ways, ways of phrasing it, different ways of approaching it for a client. So that's what I wanted to share with everyone tonight. We are really fortunate tonight to have two of our amazingly supportive agents to come here and do a Q&A panel for us. Together, we've styled over 100 properties for these agents over the last 2 years. First up, we have Jess, and then we have Will Torres. When I attend a consult, most of the time, when you guys are sending us through leads, the client's already convinced. Right, so you do most of the hard yards for us. And then I go in and I do the quote, do the chat, all that sort of thing. But the aha moment for the client, it's already happened. So the question, the conversation that you're having with the clients to get them across the line, is it an actual, do you see phrases that work time and time again, or is it literally the trust relationship that exists there already for you?
Look, I'm probably not that great with words and dialogue or anything like that, so I very much go with how I'm feeling, but also really what I feel the client needs, but also what's going to really best represent their property and get the best price. So I think a lot of owners are really educated now these days, and they kind of expect it's going to be brought up, like do you stage, do you not? But I personally staged when I've sold before, and I'm just such a true believer that it does work. So it's kind of quite a natural conversation that just comes up, and that I believe it would get them more money, and I'll give examples of what I've done. Yeah.
With presentation, I always add in styling. It's mandatory for me and all of my properties, and I recommend it. And the way I use it is I always make we're affiliated with a styling company that works in conjunction with Torres Property. And that's what I do to sort of really sell the stylists to come in and style or give a consultation to my clients, because I think it does make a difference in the value of the property.
So for your clients, it's perceived that we're part of the team.
Absolutely,
yeah,
100%. For me, I always go on that structure and I add that presentation in just to reiterate that it's part of the team and part of the service that Torres Property provides. I get questions a lot where people say, should I renovate kitchens or bathrooms and invest 10, 15, 25 here and there? And I say to my clients, and this is the line I use, is I say to them, you can modernise this property without having to spend tens of thousands of dollars in doing those renovations by getting the stylist coming in and dressing it up and hiding all of those extra things that need to be renovated. Because buyers aren't looking at what's under their feet, they're looking at what's ahead of them.
My question is, as a startup company, what would be the do's and don'ts for me approaching agents?
Call before you turn up. I've had only a few people have turned up, and not that that's inappropriate, but I know that sometimes I can't give them the time or day. But I think also how we came across Phoebe and her company was, I asked a few recommendations around the real estate community, but also we watched a lot of her Facebook, Instagram posts too. So it's probably maybe having a passive introduction first, and then maybe calling the agent and just saying, do you have 5 minutes? Can I pop around? But I really would say give a discount. I'm not sure about Will, but I know sometimes if there's an incentive, particularly if it's going to save my sellers money, I'd be like, hey, there's this great company, look at Instagram, look at Facebook, but also they're doing a special at the moment. They're going to do a package half price. So maybe doing an incentive to first get on board.
Approaching you at an open home. Coming up and saying hi at an open home. Yes or no? How do you feel about that?
If it was a quiet open home, maybe. But at an open home, I really want to focus my attention on the buyer and represent my seller in that way. So I wouldn't be able to give you the time of day if you came to an open home. I think it would probably be better if you could, literally send through maybe email, phone call first, and then just say, look, do you have 5 minutes? We've got this wonderful special, 2 weeks free, that we would like to, show you our work.
With the opens, I would say yes. Sorry, playing devil's advocate here. But the reason why I would say yes is not to have a conversation about the styling, but I guess just introduce yourself, see what styling is there, starting out your business, getting an idea of who is the stylist, and I guess then introducing yourself very briefly to the agent, handing out a card and saying, hey, I'm a stylist for so-and-so, or my business. I'm just having a quick look around. That's it. And then, and most agents and the good agents will ring you for feedback on the property, and then you can give your 2 cents on what you think of the property, and then have that conversation while he or she is doing the feedback for the client to find out what the feedback is and what you thought of the home.
Yeah, that's great.
Thoughts on virtual staging?
I don't like it.
I do it. And I'll just give you some examples. I try and stage most of our houses, but just recently I've got a couple of investors coming to me that they need to sell their units because the unit market has dropped and they're currently tenanted. So we have a strategy where we say to the owner, and please use this, we say to the owner, look, with the tenant's consent, we will pay for a removalist to physically move all their furniture into one of the bedrooms. Then we get our photographer to come in, take the photos, and then we put in the virtual furniture. So again, I would do this probably at a price point, like this is for more of that entry buying units, that 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 that is tenanted and the client needs to have it sold. So that's the time I'm using virtual furniture for that purpose too. And it gets people, from my experience, in the door. It's gotten a lot better, but we use it as a backup option. We will always try and get it staged because it's all about that emotion when people walk in and fall in love with the furniture, although they think it comes from a place it doesn't, but they fall in love with it. So I use it on select times, and it's generally the units.
At what stage, what was like the trigger point for both of you when you went, nah, we're styling homes from now on, we're not like yourself, we're not listing unless it's been styled? Or you like, it's absolutely necessary?
What was that penny drop there?
The penny drop for me was, I think, the difference of what I saw. I had an experience where there was a property on the market and it wasn't styled. And I saw what we achieved for the price, and I was a little bit sort of confused why we got such a low price. And then we had another property which was a mirror image, and we did style it, and we got, I think it was like $45,000 more, and that was just the deal breaker for me. Like where I was just like, I'm now styling everything, and I'm converted. So yeah, from there I've been preaching it ever since.
I'm probably quite newer to the styling of homes. I've done a trickle over the years, and I've done them for quite, I guess, special properties, but as what Phoebe was saying, this is like my 14th year, but I sell all different levels of properties. Like I don't have one particular property, but I personally sold just a cheap investment property of mine last year, and I didn't want to renovate it. I did the bare basics, but I knew I had to go with really luxurious styling, which I did, and truly that got me such a dramatically higher price than I expected. And I had done a few before on other people's properties, but that just convinced me that firsthand, it absolutely does. And we also track how, when we style a property, on how quickly we sell it. So 1 to 3 weeks, I've always got a property under contract that's styled. And on other properties, it might actually take twice that too. But yeah, that was my main thing from a personal experience, but also buyers are very well educated in this market now, and I think sometimes they're a bit time poor, but they can't imagine a property without having the furniture in there. And so again, it's all that emotional thing. They're falling in love with the property based on the furniture too.
First time when Phoebe came and approached me when I was at Place, prior to starting my agency, I could see that she really wanted it, and she would do whatever she needed to do to get my business. And I could see it in her eyes. When we sat down face to face, we were in that conference room at Place, and you were like, well, I'll do it. And it wasn't, I'm going to offer you a discount, I'm going to offer you 8 weeks. It was none of that. It was just, I really want it. Give me a hand, give me a shot. And someone a long time ago gave me a shot. And this is where I am because of that. And I think it's the same thing with you guys. It's not coming across desperate. It's just you asking for the business and showing that you want it. But at the same time, there is a fine line. You don't want to overstep it where you're not calling every day or every week, but at least every, fortnight to say, hey, I'm here, just letting you know I'm here. And that's what I do on a constant basis. We all run businesses. I run my own business, and I'm ringing these clients a fortnight. I'm asking for their permission. And when you ring, it's a little bit of prospecting. When you ring these agents, ask them, when is it okay for me to call you back? 2 weeks, 1 month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, when would be a good time to come back to you and see how you're traveling? Oh, you know what, call me in give me 2 weeks, done. And that's what I do with my clients when I'm asking them, when is it okay when I can come back to you and give you a call?